So Final Fantasy VII Remake obviously came to the PS4. Switch 2 is probably closer to the PS4. Was it between the PS4 and the PS5, right? So it's actually more powerful than the PS4, I believe. However, this is Intergrade, which is the PS5 version of the Final Fantasy VII Remake because it adds the Intergrade DLC. So this is the PS5 version. This is the same game that we had on the PS5, or the same version that we had on the PS5. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how well it runs. I don't know how well it's going to run or not. But it is coming to Switch 2. Now, some things about this. First of all, it is going to be sold as a key card, which has been pretty controversial right now. A lot of people feel that if you're going to sell me the the card, the game should be on the card. But instead, Nintendo has been selling these key cards. They're saying it's good for the industry, and they're saying it's good for preservation and that sort of thing. Other people are arguing it has nothing to do with preservation whatsoever, because if the game goes off servers, then it doesn't matter if you have a key or not, because there's no door. If you do get the game, it is going to be coming with a Magic the Gathering booster pack. So Final Fantasy recently did a collab with Magic the Gathering. So you will be getting a booster pack for that game if you buy the Switch version of Final Fantasy VII Integrade. It's going to come with 14 random cards from the Final Fantasy VII crossover, obviously. They're not going to be random Magic cards. They will all be Final Fantasy VII related, or maybe Final Fantasy related. That's a good question. Because it was a Final Fantasy in general crossover. So yeah, I don't know if those cards are going to be all Final Fantasy VII related or just Final Fantasy related. That's a good question. I haven't seen anything on that. I would assume it's probably just anything Final Fantasy. So you might not actually end up getting anything Final Fantasy VII related. But maybe, I don't know, maybe they pack it entirely with Final Fantasy VII cards. That would be interesting to find out. Now, if you get it digital, the pre-orders are going to include the original Final Fantasy VII. So you can get that, and that's actually pretty cool. They are also going to be adding a new feature that was added into the newer versions of that, which we'll get into in a little bit. If you do get the game, it's going to include the base game, obviously, Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is the first one, not the second one, not Rebirth. That one I'm sure will come eventually, but not yet. This is the original Final Fantasy VII Remake, okay? It's going to come with the base game. It's going to come with the Intergrade DLC. That's the Yuffie DLC, which is actually pretty good. So, yeah, definitely look forward to that. And it's also going to come with some special items. For instance, if you got like the digital deluxe version, then, you know, you would get like some special materia or something like that. And this one, for example, you'll be getting the Carbuncle materia, so you can summon Carbuncle in game. Obviously not as good as some of the late game materia, but still good to have early game. Especially when you don't have that many summons, because you might only have one, so only one person can use it. Now you'd have two, so two people could use it. So definitely very helpful. It's also going to be coming with a new mode, which is what I mentioned with the original Final Fantasy VII. So in the original Final Fantasy VII, when it came out again on like PlayStation 4, I'm not sure if the PlayStation 3 had it, but the PlayStation 4 version, I think the Xbox version, not sure which Nintendo that would have been, maybe the Switch or maybe the Wii or the Wii U, not quite sure. But that version had a mode which you could turn on and it would just constantly regenerate your health, constantly regenerate your MP, and it would constantly regenerate your limit break bar. So you have unlimited limit breaks, unlimited magic, and unlimited life. And with this new version of Final Fantasy VII Integrade for the Switch, they are adding that mode into Final Fantasy VII Integrade. It is called Streamline Progression. It is going to make you invincible, so you cannot die. It's going to give you unlimited MP, ATB, and your limit break. So your limit break is like this big attack that you build up to, and then you can release it when you want to. MP is just your magic points, so you have unlimited magic, cast as much as you want. And ATB is actually really, really important because in the older Final Fantasy games, ATB would stand for Active Time Combat. So there's always a debate whether it's turn-based or not. But basically what happens is each character has their own speed, and your speed would determine how quickly a bar fills. When that bar fills, that's when you can act. So instead of like a traditional game where like I have a turn and I select a move for all my characters, then you select a move for all your characters, and then it moves to the next turn, I select a move for all my characters, you select a move for all your characters. Instead of that, you just have a character's bar charges, and when it charges, they can fill it. So if you have a faster character, my character might actually be able to attack twice in the time it takes your character to attack once. So speed becomes, it's basically turn-based, but we're adding speed as a factor that doesn't just determine where you go in turn order, but how often you take turns. So in Final Fantasy VII Remake, they've changed this where it slowly, very slowly builds up. But every time you attack an enemy, or if you defend against certain attacks or that sort of thing, you'll get a little boost to it, so you can charge it up. So the more aggressive you are, if you're attacking like manually, just basic attack, you're going to build up your ATB relatively quickly. And then you can spend that, you have 2 bars of ATB. You can spend one to do certain things, like maybe you use 1 bar to cure, or you use 1 bar to cast fire, or you use 1 bar to do a special attack. Some attacks that are stronger might take 2 bars, so you have to charge up twice, but it's going to be a stronger attack. So anyway, if you have unlimited ATB, you can basically just use anything you want at any time. Whereas if you're playing the basic game, you kind of have to manage, you can't constantly be attacking. You have to build it up and then attack. It's relatively quick, but here it's unlimited. You can do whatever you want, whenever you want, no problems. So anyway, they're adding that, which is basically the idea they said is they want people who just want to focus on the story to just focus on the story. All your attacks are going to do 9999 damage. So everything's going to die in 1 hit. Or at least all the small stuff should be dying in 1 hit. The bosses are going to go down really quick and you can't die. So you can just focus on the story, basically. And just as a quick recap, Final Fantasy VII Remake, it covers the Midgar arc of Final Fantasy VII, just the very beginning. For the most part, it sticks to what Final Fantasy VII did. It does deviate in some areas. It does add some extra content, so we get a little bit more on side characters like Biggs, Wedge, and Jesse, which pretty universally welcome, but there are some changes, like Sephiroth being introduced much earlier in the game. And these don't have a huge impact on where the story goes in Remake, but they will have a very big impact on where it goes moving forward. So yeah, I don't know if you like that or not. I'm a purist. I would have preferred they stuck to the original, but it is what it is. So yeah, check it out. Final Fantasy VII Intergrade coming to Switch 2. Need to double check on the time.